fast forward a little bit, like you said, you got introduced to Three Strikes from T Love, but the group ended up dismantling. Like, what was it about Chingy? You call it Lil House for people who don't know. Chingy, what was it about him that stood out that made you guys want to work with him and continue to work with him?
Well, for me, it was kind of I'd say relationship had a part to play in it, because I had already knew him from Without Warning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And also too, when the group broke up, like, you know, he was the only one from them that I stayed in contact with. So when they broke up, like, to the point where, you know, when Chingy was kicked out of his mother's house, you know what I'm saying, like, we helped each other in that particular time. That's how, like, close we was relationship wise. So it wasn't necessarily like that. It was just kind of more of like the relationship. And even from a creative aspect, now that I look back on it, we did see something in him, you know what I'm saying, as far as talent, his look and his voice, and it was unique. But it was kind of more of a relationship type of thing of how it came together, versus more like, okay, he the one and we gonna take him. It didn't really happen that way.
And this was after the situation with the group, it was around what, 2002, when you guys began to, you know, work with him, and I guess began to make music, and it kind of led to, you know, the production of Jackpot.
Yeah, so once the group broke up, and we all made a decision to move in together, and that's when me, Zoe, and Chingy moved into the apartment. Anybody that's seen the BET interview, he actually took you to that apartment off Dalmore that we were staying in. That's actually where Zoe was staying in, and we just all decided to move in together. So when we all moved in together, that's when we started to create the songs. Now at this particular time, me and Zoe like had already been with DTP. Like, we was already like working on Ludacris and other stuff before, but then once the group broke up, we started to shift gears to focus on Chingy's music. You know what I'm saying? Because we was all just sitting around like, shit, well, you know, Shaka Zulu was our manager, so why don't we put some records together? And, you know what I'm saying, send him to Shaka and see what he think. And right there was one of those records. He was right about that on the Vlad interview, where like you know, we was you know, just playing around with a bunch of beats and some music, just vibing, and you know, Right There came on, and he heard it, and then, you know, just started vibing to it. So that was one of the 4 songs that was on the demo that we created at that time and sent to Shaka Zulu.
Yes. Let's go back before we continue. It's something that caught my attention. You said that you was already working with DTP, but just from hearing like your story and, you know, Chingy's side story, I was still sleeping in like a 1-bedroom apartment. Like, I ain't had no money.
Man, we was the brokest Negroes in the city at that time. We was broke. Zoe was playing in a band called Dr. Chevegas, and Dr. Chevegas is a cover band, you know. So that's how we was really making the money from him, making money from the band. And me and Chingy was broke as hell. Like, we ain't had no money. Like, we were just starving musicians and artists trying to make it. So Zoe just basically took us in, and we just used every resource we had to, you know what I'm saying, make it. And then, you know, when we signed with Shaka and DTP, like, it wasn't like a record deal either. Now, it did come to a point where we was kind of struggling for money, and Shaka then was like, you know, I'm gonna send y'all some money. We thought we was balling too. I remember Shaka sent us like $5,000 a piece. He was like, okay, I'm gonna send y'all something, sent us $5,000 a piece, and we thought we was rich, like we was balling at that time. So but prior to Shaka sending us money, like, it wasn't a deal. So, you know, usually when the artists sign a deal, they'll have an advancement and such. But Shaka was just kind of like taking us in and developing us, so it wasn't really no money out the gate, and that's why, you know, we kind of struggled at that time. But yeah.